So, how did you feel at first about doing a documentary?
Well, I have to blame my manager, as I always do, Peter. He has been my manager since, I don't know, 1992-ish, since I was in Chrome Dog. And he badgered me into writing the memoir, the book that came out in 2016, which now really needs an update because a lot has happened in a decade, as our lives go. And so with the documentary, they're making a feature film based on the book Ibifficus, which is nutty, which is already insane, you know. And I'm not in that. They're hiring real actors for that one. And he was bemoaning, he was in a conversation where he's bemoaning being badgered by all these, very well meaning documentary filmmakers who want to kind of make this documentary about my life, whether it's, story of origin, about my adoptee story, about, being born in India, about my parents being missionaries, or about me being a runaway, or really about my music career, or whatever it is. And he just kind of was, brushing them off all the time. And then the producers from the feature company said, "Why aren't you working with us on this?" And it was just a labor of love. Really, Pollyanna is so thoughtful and meticulous, and she was a fan, and really just really just so lovingly wanted to just share my story really truthfully, and I guess, I don't know, in a kind way, and just very um, you know, I guess I want to say meticulously.
Yeah.
Um,
How important was that to you, given that each chapter of your story, I mean, you rattled a whole bunch out there that frankly could all be subjects of documentaries on their own. You talked about having an adoption story, being here and then in Winnipeg, your parents missionaries. You talked about running away. Obviously, your cancer is part of your story and your journey, as is facing sexual violence. What was it like opening up for this?
well, because I had always kind of been, I've been writing these kind of really personal lyrics since I was, I don't know, in Gorilla Gorilla. Like, I've never been a shy person. So, these lyrics have always been out there in the world. I've been able to kind of, enshroud them in, this poetic kind of fabric all this time. But it was very difficult, kind of, being very honest and tearfully recalling, in interview style for the camera, some of these, very factual and very intimate personal details. Some things that were not in my memoir. HarperCollins is a lovely company, certainly. But we didn't talk about stalkers at all in my memoir. We did not go there. And that's, HarperCollins is, my book for HarperCollins is very polite. Let
Yeah.
me just put it that way. It's a
How
very polite book.
how much do
Um,
stalkers factor in? Did they factor into your journey?
I have a lot of stalkers. I've always had a lot of stalkers. I've been in court a lot. The criminal justice system and me are good friends, and have always been. I have a lot of dark tales in my professional life and in my adult life, and I have a lot of dark tales in my domestic violence experience, and I have never gone there in my book, and I don't really go there too much in my documentary because there just isn't the time. Part of what my documentary talks about is how if you are a trauma survivor, and, I am a self-respect filled prairie girl, you know. And so I always say that you have humor, because we use humor as prairie girls.
Yes, we do.
We use humor as a survival technique.
As you said, you shared tears when you're doing this long interview. Do you have
Yeah.
moments of self-reflection after that interview's done on the day and you think, whew, but this is going to reach so and so of a group, and that's why it's worth it. Who are you thinking of
Oh,
reaching?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know for a fact because all most of my best friends are also from Winnipeg. And I'm still friends with all the girls that I was friends with when I was 18. And we all went through all the same things. And so, we all high five at the end. So to watch that on the screen, I know for a fact that there are going to be people in the audience who are going to relate to it and who are going to leave with smiles on their faces, for sure, and bigger hearts. And I hope that everyone leaves with a smile on their face and a good feeling in their heart, because no matter what we have all been through in our lives, and everyone has a shared experience. We all have that mutuality.
This is a quote from the trailer. People might have seen this quote, but that every single show is amazing. It's the other 22 hours that are hard.
Yes, the other two,
What
the
does that
other
mean?
hours in the day, because I think that people do suffer in their lives. The show is always amazing. The show is good. When you're performing on stage or whatever your passion is in life, you forget everything else in the world. You're a singer on the stage and you are hitting your note and you see your lyric has resonated with an audience member, and that's the moment that all your struggle that it took to create the song and the lyric of heartache has resonated with that person. All that struggle is worth it.
But I wonder whether or not anything that you heard about yourself when you watched the final cut stayed with you and made you go, or surprised you, or I don't want to assign a word to it, but did you watch the final
Oh,
cut and go, oh, that is me, or that even for me watching something about me I find quite surprising or humbling, or did you have a moment when you were watching it?
well, the whole thing for me was very humbling. I wasn't involved in the editing or anything like that. I didn't watch it all along. I watched it when it was completed. And for me, watching my birth mom be interviewed was incredibly um, moving. I was overcome watching her talking.
Can we stay
That
there?
was
Can we stay there for a moment? Just maybe why was that? Just so people that don't know much about your story. She was, I think, a
it was
teenager, right?
so
When was she like a young
yeah.
woman in India when she?
She was
Yeah.
she was she's only 15 years older than me. And so I felt like that was the first opportunity she's ever had to share her story ever. And to watch her talking about having to leave me behind, and for her to share that she was able to sneak down and see me one last time. I mean, it killed me because I know her now. I was able to meet her. I searched for her, even though my parents were amazing. I had a great childhood. I have a great family. I had a great upbringing. But I met her when I was 21. And, I have always had a wonderful relationship with her also,
Yeah.
which has been amazing. And now that I live out here in Ontario, because her family moved back to Canada from India. So I have a relationship with her out here, and she and I are like twins.
Wow.
I mean, it's nuts. Our mannerisms are
Yeah.
the same. We speak the same way. The way my face wrinkles is the same as her. I mean, it's nuts. And it's so cool.
What a pleasure to talk to you ahead of the documentary that's going to stream on Super Channel on November 21st. And yeah, nice to have you with part of my interview with Bif Naked. We spoke at length last week in advance of the documentary about her life. Bif Naked, a documentary, is now streaming on Super Channel. The movie is to be announced for more details in the future. And we're going to see who plays her. She wouldn't share that with me, by the way. I tried to get that out of her. She's not sure who's in the running, and she's also under wraps for sharing who's being considered. So we'll have to see.